One look at Deep Fear and you might think it's just another Resident Evil clone set under the sea, but that's a shallow interpretation and it doesn't really hold water. Sure, it has the camera angles, tank controls, and reading files of an RE game, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of what it has to offer. Deep Fear adds its own mechanics to the RE formula and is dripping with character. I don't want to gush too much, but I loved this game, and since they used a pun in the title, I made this video overflowing with puns. I saved the best ones for last, so save your dislikes until then. So let's dive in and see why Deep Fear made such a splash. Development of Deep Fear was helmed by Sega Saturn and Sega CS2, who later became Overworks and made Skies of Arcadia. So it's safe to say there was a lot of talent on deck. The game first shipped in 1998 in Europe, where it would be the last Saturn game released there. Meanwhile, North America was left high and dry without an official release, and there's no Dreamcast port. Thankfully, 1998 was an amazing year. Deep Fear goes full steam in its intro with a dramatic scene of a space capsule splashing down into the ocean, followed by a frantic race to recover it from the depth. No idea what it's bringing back. The music is so chilling and submerges you in this fantastic atmosphere. Then, cut to 4 months later, and we're introduced to our main character, John Mayer. Not that one, as he wonders why his 2D waifu can't become 3D.
Stella.
A member of the ERS, Emergency Rescue Service, he soon falls for the oldest prank in the book.
Sharon's drowning in the E-pool! Come quickly!
I'm right above you. I'll be right there. What's going on?
April Fools!
Ha! The teenage girl wasn't drowning after all.
We don't have time for these fun and games.
Sorry, Chief.
And if voice acting so bad it's good doesn't float your boat, well, I'm sure your interest in this game has already evaporated.
What do you mean?
But the dialogue actually had me laughing out loud. I mean, it's jaw-dropping, really.
This is terrible! My masterpiece is ruined! Oh, what am I gonna do?
You got that right, and not to mention offensive. Despite voiceover that's off the deep end, the story is actually anchored in the real-life events of Project Mercury, when the US dipped their toes into manned spaceflight by first launching animals into suborbit. Anyways, the hilarious prank is rudely interrupted when a Navy submarine suddenly crashes near your facility, nicknamed the Big Table, and you're ordered to check it out. After making your way to the submarine, you'll meet your first infected, known as Jax.
Kill me, please.
What?
They behave like zombies, shambling towards you, but enemy variety is good, and they have some different attack styles. The character models change too as the parasite evolves, each generation producing different enemies with a unique look. The first forms look human-like and asymmetrical, but they grow more alien and symmetrical as it evolves. There are boss battles too, which can be tough, and you may find yourself in hot water, but they're never out of your depth. You can find weapons cards to unlock an arsenal and rain down a torrent of lead on these jacks. From this first encounter, the stakes keep rising, and only John can turn the tide. There's a cascade of incidents that keep surfacing to really ratchet up the tension and to keep the excitement afloat. On top of the parasite turning everyone into monsters, the submarine mysteriously launches a torpedo straight for your oxygen supply. The waterfall of problems continue to be poured on, and you wonder how you're ever going to survive or if you've been damned. Story beats ripple into the gameplay and send you all over the station. Unfortunately, the flow of the game gets a little choppy in the second disc as you're forced to tread water with backtracking and fetch quests. However, the story kept me immersed, and Deep Fear is filled to the brim with detailed cutscenes sprinkled throughout. Maybe too many, but I could watch this Harrier sinking all day. As you wade into Deep Fear's story, you'll get to meet its small crew, and each character feels fleshed out with a backstory.
Long time no see, John.
Colonel McCoy.
In a way, the characters are forced to face their deepest fears and troubled pasts. You've got John, a member of the rescue team, tasked with saving the lives of everyone on Big Table, who is haunted by the loss of someone he couldn't.
Stella.
There's Clancy, the washed-up commander who can't face the consequences of his actions, Dubois, who must destroy his life's work, Danny, who can't confront the one he seems to love. I don't want to go into spoilers, but these characters felt like they had some depth and a small arc. Despite the laugh-out-loud voiceover, the story gets pretty dark, and I found the ending to be haunting as it washed over me.
Get back.
What?
Would you have an ice cream with me?
Of course.
Oh, and I love how John's idle animation is actually a plot point. The story is buoyed by fluid gameplay, and if you've played Resident Evil or Silent Hill, you won't feel like a fish out of water. It controls basically the same, except finally you can move and shoot, rare for the time. You can also set an item to a hotkey like a health item or a grenade. Where Deep Fear is oceans apart from the rest is with its oxygen system. Not only will you be battling monsters, but you'll be under the constant pressure of running out of air. I love exploration, so I was worried that this would be too stressful, but you get a number of ways to restore oxygen, like at these stations or with a rebreather. You also have oxygen grenades in an emergency. So exploration was mostly smooth sailing, and felt like I was always moving with a purpose and planning my route. Another big difference is that you'll be swimming in ammo, as you can infinitely replenish your ammo. There's also very few puzzles in Deep Fear, and I gotta say, this one made me want to explode. Which you'll do often. The setting for Deep Fear is cool, 300 meters under the ocean, but you'll spend most of your time in brightly lit hallways. They all look pretty similar, so you may flounder until you get your bearings. Throughout the game, Big Table absorbs a lot of damage, so it would have been nice to see those bright clean corridors start to buckle or spring a leak to remind you how perilous it is. At one point, the power goes out and it would have been a perfect chance to alter the entire game world like Silent Hill. Since the second disc meanders with backtracking, it would have been cool to revisit rooms as they start to give into the sea. It would really allow you to soak up the atmosphere. There are some flooded rooms and you can go out into the ocean a few times, but it basically just slows everything down and drains the fun. Speaking of atmosphere, the music is so good, but it comes in trickles, and I wanted more. The sound is mostly atmospheric. You can sink about 10 hours into your first playthrough, but if you're hoping for unlockables or new game modes, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. As far as I could tell, there's nothing for replayability, not even rankings. So, what are you waiting for? Don't be a wet blanket. Deep Fear is not a game to be skipped. Surely it will make waves with any survival horror fan, as I have yet to see an RE-inspired game that has measured up so well to its peers. And if this whet your appetite, then give it a shot, and you'll see what I mean. You really H2O it to yourself to play Deep Fear. And look at that, we did it! 69 puns, because this is YouTube. I didn't think we'd get there, but I feel so proud. I feel this well of emotion. Oh. Hey, thanks for watching, and a special thanks to everyone who helped me break the 100 sub milestone. I honestly never thought I would get there, but it's all thanks to you.